think my number one tip for having your best month in December is firstly to decide, what do you want? I think December is a month where we very much get blown around by other people's expectations and what they want. But I would challenge you to sit there and think, what do you want this December? Now, the thing with our mindset is that what we focus on is what we get. And if you don't set a focus, if you don't set an intention of what you want to have out of this month, guess what? You'll be like a cork bobbing on the sea, getting blown around. So for me, one of the things I really want this month is I want to spend time with those people that are nearest and dearest to me. That's what December is about every year for me. Getting out to see my friends, to see my family, catching up with everybody. Because when I'm in the training season, which has just finished, I don't get to see anybody really because I work so hard, but I spend loads of time with my amazing students. So December for me, one of the things I want out of December is I want to catch up with my family and my friends, and let my hair down a little bit and have a nice time. So yeah, so if you're listening to me live, then drop, or on the replay, drop a comment below. What do you want out of December? How are you going to make this your best month? So for me, number one is, what do you want? You have to have a focus, in my opinion. If you don't have a focus, you're going to get blown around. Top tip number two is, what are you going to stop or let go of? Now, you might think this is a little bit of a bizarre top tip to have for December, but the problem with December is it gets really busy for everybody, and there's more and more and more stuff that gets popped on top of all of our expectations. There's the Christmas shopping to do, there's the tree to do, there's everything else to do, and so there's this very high expectation of we have of ourselves and other people have of us in terms of what we need to do. So what are you going to stop in December? What are you not going to do in December? Or what are you going to let go of? So I think that's something to have a little think about. You know, decluttering the mind, your house, and that kind of stuff. What are you going to stop and let go of so that you can have the month that you want? Now, top tip number three from me on having a great December and your best month is also to speak your truth. Now, many of us around Christmas end up spending time with people that at other times of the year we wouldn't spend time with. Do you know what? At the end of the day, I want you to have the most amazing December for you. And sometimes that requires you to actually speak up. Many people in December suffer in silence and don't say what they think, don't do what, actually, do you know what? No, I don't want to go out 7 days a week. I just don't want to do that. I want some quiet time at home. To me, that's important to me. So I'm going to balance all of my going out and having fun, but also because it's important for me to speak up. I'm having Christmas here this year in my house. For the last 3 years, I've spent Christmas Day with my mum in the care home, and this year I'm having Christmas at home for me. And I've said that, and I will reiterate that. That's what I want to do this year. Yeah, that's my truth. I would like to spend Christmas at home, and that's what I'm going to do. So that's my top tip number three. If you want to have a great December, you have to have the courage to speak your truth, to say what you think, to say no when you need to say no, and say yes to the things you want to say yes to. Sometimes people feel like everybody else thinks that the answer should be no, so we just say no. And actually, no, to hell with it. I want to do it, so go and do it. So speak your truth, whether that's saying no, whether that's saying yes, and doing what you want to do. So that is my top tip number three, is speak your truth. My top tip number four is avoid getting distracted. This time of year, it's wonderful to spend hours on social media. I mean, I love social media. It is a double-edged sword in my view. You can waste hours on social media, But once you've decided what you want, which is the first thing I suggested you do. Number 2, remember, was let go what you're going to stop. Number 3 is speak your truth. Number 4 is once you've decided what you want, then focus on it, because that's what you're going to get. So I would suggest December would be a really good month to actually maybe cut back a little bit on social media. Obviously not watching my lives, because they're going to give you value. But actually, you know, people get into comparisons in December. You know, they scroll through and they see all the presents that the kids down the road are getting, and then parents feel guilty because they can't afford it. And actually, social media can be a tool that we use to actually beat ourselves up when that's not healthy. So I would suggest, you know, some people call it stay in your own lane. Other people avoid getting distracted. Other people would say, you know, limit your time on social media. But December is a month where a lot of people get into comparisons with each other of who's doing what. Do you know what? At the end of the day, focus on you and your family and what's going to make you happy during December, and avoid the temptation to go down the road of all the comparisons which everybody starts doing. Just avoid the comparison paralysis type thing. You'll ruin your December, I'm telling you. So that was my tip number 4. My tip number 5 is me time. So December is a really busy month for so many of us. So I would suggest that now, at the beginning of December, today's the 1st, now is a really good time to plan out what's going on for you in December. And make sure that you've planned in some me time, some recharge time. So I've got a couple of massages booked now in December. I've got some days at home where I'm doing absolutely nothing, and I shall sit and watch Netflix and watch films and drink hot chocolate and have a lovely time. But I think because December gets so busy for so many of us, balance is the name of the game, people, if we're going to get to the end of December happy, having a nice month. So yeah, they're my top 5 tips. So just to recap then, how I think perhaps you can have an amazing December. Number 1, what do you want? That's number 1. Decide now, what does success look like? What is your best month for you? Decide that now, because what you focus on is what you get. Number 2, let go, and what you're going to stop doing, so that you can create some time for all these extra expectations that are about to creep in. So what are you going to not do? Number 3, speak your truth, whether that's saying yes or saying no, but you have to absolutely speak your truth, in my view. That was number 3. I can't count, and I'm looking at my list of 5. Number 4 was avoid getting distracted, and be careful with social media. Avoid the comparison. Don't beat yourself up. Just focus on what you want, and all that kind of stuff. And number 5 is me time. Make sure you're planning in plenty of me time this month. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is my 5 top tips.